I'll just give you a quick tour through my wood store. It's not a stash, it's a store. Clavo walnut. This came over here in planks. I acquired it, had it sawn up from Oregon in the United States. More clavo walnut, but this was grown in this country. Same species. More clavo walnut, grown in Kew Gardens and allegedly planted by Queen Victoria. It's lovely when the wood has a story to it. Mahogany, backs and sides. Indian rosewood, backs and sides. What else have we got? This is wood that's come in more recently. Some bog oak, some maple. This is some Cuban mahogany. Somebody brought, I think a retired woodworker, had a trailer load of planks of various timbers, brought it to me, and I bought most of it. So that's Cuban mahogany. More Cuban mahogany. This is some reclaimed mahogany from things like snooker tables and wardrobes. Snakewood. The remains of 2 or 3 little logs of snakewood, one of the most expensive timbers in the world. A lovely, lovely decorative timber. Full of flaws, but the bits that you want is that bit up there. Underneath there's lots more Indian rosewood, backs and sides. At the end is some French walnut. And all these odds and ends are offcuts of all sorts of things. We never throw anything away. Never throw anything away. This is the valuable bit, I suppose. African blackwood, more African blackwood. Maple in various different grades and figures. Coca-Cola, don't use it very much because it's quite an unpleasant timber. Indian laurel, not used much, lovely timber. Cypress, bubinga, Cuban mahogany, suricote, Malaysian blackwood, wenge, African ebony, Macassar ebony, leopard wood, zebrano, more Cuban mahogany, Brazilian rosewood, that's all along here, all Brazilian rosewood. Down here, more Brazilian rosewood, some imbua, which is a South American hardwood, I think, satinwood, pink ivory, Amazon rosewood, olive wood. Here we have more Brazilian rosewood. Again, each little stack with a story behind it. Some of this came from eBay, but it wasn't advertised as Brazilian rosewood. So I had to identify it and get the licenses. This is all licensed, none of it's illegal. And then moving further down here, most of that there is Brazilian rosewood, but low grade. It's got wormholes, it splits, too twisty. I shan't be using it. One day, if I can find a way of selling it on legally, etc., I probably will. But for now, it's just sitting there. These things here are mostly offcuts from logs. If you cut up a whole log, then you inevitably get bits of short ends, which are lovely for making head veneers, or some might be big enough for making mandolins. That's Madagascar rosewood. At the top, this has just come in recently, so I've put it to one side. This is chocolate cedar, dark coloured cedar. This is yellow cedar from Alaska. Sequoia redwood. Some of it's just sequoia, some is sinker redwood that's been pulled out of the river at Mendocino, California. Further along, that's Swiss pine, Italian spruce, Colombian pine, German spruce, more Italian, Swiss pine, Engelmann spruce, German spruce. At the bottom, odds and ends of things that we've rejected for one reason or another. The grain's too wide or it's not straight. We'll sort through it and see if we can save any, but otherwise that will be disposed of one day. And around here, I've been buying wood since 1970 and I've still got some of it. Some of the cedar there I cut myself on my own saw in about 1978 and I've still got it. Most of that there is German spruce. This here is cedar. Again, so mixed lots, you buy a lot, and with a bit of luck you can get an excellent guitar out of it or 2 excellent mandolins. I do tend to buy wood in bulk if I can. Sometimes it's best to buy a specialist piece, just one off, but I do like wood, and the more wood I've got, the happier I am. Ebony fingerboards, quite a lot of those. Tucked away around the back there's more Sitka spruce billets for making bracewood out of. Ebony bridges, I do sometimes worry about the weight on the floor in here. Okay, back round this way. English walnut are down there. Rosewood fingerboards, more rosewood backs and sides. Here we have Sapele back and sides. This is wood from Talisker Distillery. This is the washback vessel. Colombian pine, a big massive wooden vessel that's had alcohol in it for 40 years before they take it down and replace it. This is the oak from the casks, the whiskey cask that's been sawn up. That's the nice bit inside, and that's what it looks like on the outside. And you can see the shape of the stave from the barrel. And we use that to make a small number of instruments. It's a lovely wood. It's even lovelier when you get it wet and get it hot because it smells like whiskey. So. More Brazilian rosewood down there. This is the remains of a log. That's the end of the log that Mike Waterson brought to me. Logs are often pretty rough looking things and it's difficult to get good sizes out, but there's a good story in all of it. There's a guitar next. You'll see better downstairs how all this works. There's four necks there. If we get a big plank of wood with the grain going in the right direction, we can cut them out like that. So that's four pieces from an area of wood, not that grand. That's very economical. But getting that nowadays is quite rare. By the time you've got to the fourth piece, the curve in the grain of the timber's gone too curvy and you can't use it anymore. Well, I wouldn't. See, that's gone off. That's gone too far. So I probably won't use that at all. Or it might turn into a mandolin, I don't know. The other ones, that's a bit better. That's pretty good. The grain is vertical and the grain is straight. So that will make a nice one-piece neck. I do like to make guitars with one-piece necks if I can, otherwise I like to laminate them that way. I don't like gluing the heel on, and I don't like gluing the head on. I do think one piece of wood must have something going for it without gluing your bits together. These are necks that have been on a guitar and been on off again. This was the second neck that went on John Smith's resonator guitar. The first one had fan frets, which he didn't get on with, so he had me change it to an ordinary 8-string parallel fret guitar. He didn't get on with that, so I changed it to a 6-string, so that guitar's had 3 necks on it. Shame really, because I'll find a use for it one day. Maybe a lamp stander with a bulb on top. The other ones here, that was just wrong. We made it and then realised that we should have done it a bit wider or something, so we've got a spare neck. One day we'll find a use for it. That's accumulation of 20 or 30 years. Boxes full of wood for fingerboards, for bridges, etc. The Brazilian rose that I've told you about. This is a kiln. It's really a hot box. It isn't really a kiln. It's not sucking moisture out as such. It's cooking the wood slowly, and at the moment it's full of ebony fingerboards. Ebony takes a long time to dry, and most, if not all, guitar woods do need to be dried. You can't take wood straight from the tree and air dry it and expect to make a good guitar. It has to be force dried. Otherwise the wood will continue to shrink and your frets will become rough, the soundboard will sink, the action will go down, it'll crack. Most people live in a house with central heating nowadays, and that's in effect it's a kiln. You're living in a kiln, so if the timber you're using has not been dried to suit, your guitar will suffer. It has to be kiln dried. Don't let anybody tell you different. More wood around the corner. Dehumidifier there which comes on overnight and all during the summer. Summer is the wettest time of year, winter is the driest, and winter is when you turn the heaters on and it drives the moisture content down. Odds and ends of timber lying all over the place, offcuts of ebony, offcuts of rosewood. Guitar necks that have been cut out and one half didn't make it, the other half did, but we'll find a use for it all one day. Okay, I'll show you one thing on the way downstairs. These are the sound hole offcuts, outcuts from the soundboards on the first couple of thousand guitars, and then I've still got lots of others. We just don't bother putting them on string anymore.